Welcome back for another episode of Something Like a Podcast, episode 20.
This is episode 20, and we have some special guests today with us.
Special guests.
Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, guys. So my name's Zach. I am the creator and lead host of Clutch Crew Sports Podcast. You can basically find us on any podcasting outlet, and pretty much we talk sports, but this, I know we're looking forward to coming on your guys' podcast because you guys delve into other topics as well, so we're excited for that. But I'll let my cousins introduce themselves here.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? My name's Eric. I'm one of the co-hosts, and as Zach mentioned, Connor, and myself are all cousins, so we enjoy doing this podcast as a family, and Aaron's been on our podcast before, and we enjoyed that, so we're definitely excited to be a part of y'all, so I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm Connor. I'm another co-host of Clutch Crew Sports. I had a really fun time when we did our episode with Aaron, so I've been having a lot of fun doing these guest podcasts with everybody, so excited to be on another one with all you guys.
Okay. Well, you kind of answered my question because I was going to ask, like, how did you guys meet each other? But since you're family, then that answers everything.
It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. I did want to start off with something. Aaron, I know that you're a Pelicans fan.
Yes, I am.
And Zion Williamson.
Love the guy.
Yes. So he had his first game yesterday.
Last night.
Yeah, last night. Did you guys get to watch the game last night?
I did not, but I did see the obvious storyline at the end, the highlights and stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not get to see it either, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw the story on ESPN of Zion got like 22 points or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He only played 18 minutes. So I watched some of the game. I watched the beginning of it. And they pulled him out after 4 minutes of the game.
I was shocked with that.
You saw that too?
I saw the ending. I didn't get a chance to see the beginning of it.
Okay.
But he did have 17 points in, 3 minutes span? That's what I read, something about that?
Yeah, he came in the fourth quarter, and he was just on fire from three.
Dude, I'm telling you, this cat's going to be nice.
Yeah, he's going to be nice. But, guys and Aaron, there's an underlying storyline that a lot of people haven't heard of. So Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy are under attack because they said they were fat-shaming Zion Williamson.
They was fat shaming him.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so people are in an uproar, whatever you want to call it, because they said, I mean, the way I look at it is if you have an investment like Zion Williamson, you want to make sure that, you get the most out of him.
Yeah,
so
instead of calling him out of like that, like they called him fat, shamed him.
No, well, they didn't even do
Okay,
that.
they didn't
It's
do
just
that?
people are taking it, the extra mile. All they said was, it would be nice if he lost the weight. And since he's been out, they say he's gained weight. But 8 pounds is muscle.
And it's all muscle. He's no fat on that
Yeah.
body of his. The only issue I had the meniscus problem is because
Yeah.
of all that weight going down on him.
Yeah,
That's the reason why.
yeah.
Other than that, the guy's gonna be a stud. Would the Pelicans be able to keep him? Probably not. Unless we start building around him. Like I like Brandon Ingram. His contract's coming up to an end. He'll shoot.
Yeah.
We got Lonzo Ball that's showing some potential though.
Okay.
You got all these pieces. You're not gonna be able to keep some of them. So if Zion's your future, obviously he is.
Yeah.
So can you be able to afford him and Ingram?
That's the question. A lot of people
A
said,
small market team like that?
yeah, well, see, that's the thing. A lot of people were saying that I guess he wanted to go to New York because New York will have a lot of impact. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think? Do you think he'll stay with New Orleans or do you think he'll, leave?
I do think he's going to stay because it seems like Zion, from what we saw at Duke, is that he likes playing basketball. I mean, he truly enjoys playing the game.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he enjoys playing in New Orleans, if he develops relationships with his teammates and coaches and the city and all that stuff, I do feel like he's going to want to stay, but it's dependent on how those relationships end up being. If they turn sour, I can obviously see him leaving, but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's wanting all about the money and all about the big market and stuff. I think he just wants to play basketball.
Right.
We do have some questions popping up on the live stream if you guys
that's
want to
great.
answer that. We actually have some comments. How about that?
Okay.
All right, so we do have one of my buddies, is saying, hey, it doesn't matter. It's muscle. He needs to lose weight. If he doesn't lose 30 pounds, he's going to have joint issues. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I'll use Joel Embiid for an example. They're saying the same thing about him. Like, a lot of his injury issues are due to him being out of shape. So, we've seen this before. So what do you guys, what's your take on that?
I mean, it is important to be in shape. I mean, it doesn't matter what sport it is. I mean, we've seen how, like in the NFL, how out of shape some guys can get, like Eddie Lacy and some of these other guys that just turn into, super fat. But I mean, yeah, it's important. When you're playing a physical game like that, if your body is not in shape, like if you kind of let yourself go, then yeah, I do believe you're more prone to injuries. It's unfortunate, but it's reality.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of the player. There's two players that pop into my mind in the NBA. One was Terry Mills, and another one was Oliver Miller. If you've seen these guys, you would say they look like they came right from a hot dog eating contest. I mean,
Are you serious?
Yeah, they were that
big.
Yeah, and they stayed in the NBA. I mean, they had
say Shaq was big.
Yeah, Shaq was
overweight
big too. Yeah, he was too. But they had limited roles.
Yeah.
But
Zion was also 7 feet tall too.
Yeah.
So you got to be kind of bigger.
Absolutely. But with these two players I'm talking about, they had limited roles. It wasn't like they were the star of the team. So maybe they only played like 10 minutes a night. Terry Mills could shoot threes. Oliver Miller, I don't know why they kept him. He couldn't do anything. He was probably clogging up the lane. But Zion Williamson, he reminds me of Charles Barkley. And I want to kind of get back to the fat shaming a little bit. They didn't fat shame him. When Charles Barkley first came into the league, do you know what his nickname was?
Cheeseburger?
There it is.
Rebounder, right? Something like that.
The round mound of rebound. Yeah. And no one said anything.
Wow.
There was no backlash.
I think because he was from Duke, and he was so, like, I guess, because if you realize something, everybody knew who Zion was.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they didn't know who was this. We're talking about Charles Barkley, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they knew who he was, but not, they really, it seemed like Zion blew up. The sort of amount of time that he did, because I didn't know nothing about him until this past year, way before the draft. Like when the college and NCAA kicked off, that's when they started talking about him. But before then, you didn't know Zion Williamson at all.
Yeah.
So I don't think with Charles Barkley, I don't think people knew much of him. So that's why I'm thinking that's probably why they really fast shamed him. But I think because the reason why they probably fast shamed him is because of they're jealous as shit. That he's getting on this limelight, and he was the first overall pick, and he goes off on his first game after being injured over 50 games. It seems like 30 games, 50 games, whatever. I just haven't been keeping track, but to my point, he just started playing. His first NBA game was last night. So with this happening, maybe that's probably why they fight shamed him.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
I do know. I followed Zion when he was in high school. He's always kind of been this weight, but he's always been uber athletic. So to everyone's point, it's muscle. I don't think it's like he's carrying a whole bunch of fat on him. But I think people are just nitpicking and they want to complain about something. That's all that is.
Well, you can see that with any athlete too. I mean, also going back to the NFL, like some of these defensive linemen that are like 290 pounds, people are like, man, those guys are so big, they need to lose some weight. But they don't understand that those guys are like 290 pounds and 5% body fat.
Yeah, they're solid.
It's all muscle.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I also wanted to get everybody's take. We're going to switch gears just a little bit. The Super Bowl is coming up.
49ers, baby, and this is why.
Okay.
It's like a big game or something.
This is why I got the 49ers.
Something like a big game. Some people watch the Super Bowl.
So I'm going to ask people off chat for Super Bowl, who wins? 49ers, Chiefs? Start answering your comment or who you want to pick into the chat, and we'll go ahead and we'll talk about it. But so this is why I picked the 49ers.
Okay.
The reason why I picked the 49ers is because I like Jimmy G. He's shown that he can be something. Obviously, he wouldn't get that contract without that. For one, he has a defense. I love Nick Bosa and Rutger and who else I can't. They also got D Ford from Kansas City. They all stacked up in front right there.
Okay.
And then you have Kansas City. Well, they got Patty Mahomes. Love Patty. Don't get me wrong. I love Patty. It's just that I don't think they have a defense. The offense is what get them out. They went down by 3 scores against Tennessee. The only reason why they came back and won that game in Kansas City was because the offense did something. But then the Titans didn't. I forget who they was playing, but whoever they was playing didn't.
Texans, I think.
Yeah, the Texans. They didn't lock down. They didn't lock down like that. So they let them come back. Costly turnovers. That was I won't say the defense calls. I think it's just because of the offense. The only good person they have on there, in my opinion, is Deshaun Watson. So it was just miscues. So, but they start off late. If they start off late in the Super Bowl against the 49ers, they're not going to win it because if you got a defense that can shut you down, that can pin their ears back and come after Mahomes, regardless of who Mahomes is. I know Mahomes can get out the pocket and just make a bad like a bad play or a play that's like, damn, that's impossible, make it good. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they're going to get to him, and they're going to get to him early and frequently. And I think that because he's so young, he's not going to be able to adapt to that. You got Jimmy G that's been in the NFL longer, that's been in Bill Belichick's tree before he went to San Francisco. So he has a Super Bowl ring already behind Tom. Okay. So that's why I'm going with the 49ers, just because he has more weapons in my opinion. And he has a better defense on his his team, better than what Patty Mahomes has. Don't get me wrong, I love Patty, but I'm going with the 49ers all the way.
Okay, I'm going to play the background on this one because I've only been watching a few games in the playoffs thus far. But what I've heard is Kansas City's been kicking tail. They've been coming back, putting up lot of points on the board.
But you can't keep going down by 2-3 scores and expect your offense to dig you out of it. In my opinion, your defense is crap. The only reason why they're winning these games is because of Patty Mahomes and the offense is digging them out. How much more can you do? This 49ers team is not in the Super Bowl for no reason. They got a defense. They got a better secondary. They got a better rush. If D Ford's back, he's healthy. That's the guy off the edge. Plus, like I said, you got Nick Bosa, and like I said, I don't remember all of it, all of the players, but they have these young bucks in front of them that can just pin their ears back and come get you.
Okay.
They don't have to send extra pressure. They can just send 4 guys, the defensive line, and they can get home anytime. They can drop back in coverage, make you hold the ball more than 3 seconds unless you do slants or crossing routes. But that's why I don't think that Kansas City's not going to win this.
So what do you guys think? Yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, I'll go first. I agree with Aaron. I'm going to pick the 49ers to win this game. A lot of what Aaron said, I feel the same way about. I don't feel as confident about Jimmy G. I think that's the biggest mismatch, Patrick Mahomes over Jimmy G. I think that's a huge mismatch. But when you look at the 49ers, I think they've got a much better offensive line, a much better defensive line, and typically the teams that have the better big men, the better linemen, tend to win these games. So I know Kansas City has all the weapons and everything, but San Francisco, they've got a really top defense. If they can press coverage and be physical with these wide receivers early in their routes to slow them down, I think that's the key for them. But I'm not going to dive too much into everything because we are going to do our own Super Bowl episode where we talk extensively about it. But the 49ers are going to be the pick. But I'm curious to see what Connor and Eric say.
Yeah, you go ahead, Connor.
Okay, I was going to say that I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. When we did our playoff predictions at the beginning of the playoffs, when we did our little brackets, I had the 49ers winning, or not the 49ers, the Chiefs winning it from the start. So I'm going to stick with the Kansas City Chiefs. That offense to me is just too explosive. There's just so many weapons. How do you you already have to account for Patrick Mahomes, who, had he not gotten hurt for, kind of halfway through the season, he'd probably be in that MVP conversation with Lamar Jackson. And not to mention that, how do you cover Travis Kelce? Okay, well, you start focusing on Travis Kelce, then you have to cover Tyreek Hill. And what a lot of people don't talk about is that Damian Williams and Sammy Watkins, I feel, are very underrated weapons on the Chiefs offense as well. And so with that, and also with the Chiefs, I don't believe as much that their defense is crap, because they did shut down Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry was running all over the Patriots and the Ravens, who have 2 of the best defenses in the league. So, I'm also not going to go too deep, but I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Yeah, okay. that what Connor just finished up with there was going to be my main point about the Chiefs, because I'm also going to be picking the Chiefs. And unless Patrick Mahomes gets injured in practice or something, the Chiefs are going to be my pick. But people are definitely underrating how good the Chiefs defense have been lately. Now, at the beginning of the season, they had their problems, and they were not very good. But probably from somewhere around the midway point of the season up until now, they have been playing really well. And people don't realize that. I think people think, the Texans put up 31 on them, but there were 2 special teams mistakes that gave the Texans 14 points. And then, like Connor said, they were the first team to really be able to contain Derrick Henry by holding him under 100 yards, whereas against the Ravens, and the Patriots, he just ran all over them. So I think if the Chiefs can do like what they did against Derrick Henry and slow that 49ers run game down a little bit and force Jimmy G to do more, then that plays into the Chiefs' hands. So I guess the key is going to be just a matter of whichever team can get off to the quicker start, because while the Chiefs have made up from these deficits when they've been down, the 49ers do have a more lethal pass rush than the teams the Chiefs have played so far in the playoffs. But if the Chiefs can get the bigger lead quickly early in the game, then the 49ers aren't going to be able to fully rely on that ground and pound style, because look what happened to the Titans when they got behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he has a point.
I just feel like the Chiefs' offense is too good, and like Zach and Connor said, we'll be going into more detail on it. It's looking like it'll be a fun debate with.
Oh yeah, I can already tell.
With us having different opinions.
Definitely about the Chiefs defense, I feel a lot different than you about that.
Same. I agree with Zach on that one. I feel a lot different about the Chiefs defense just because of if they get torched early, they're not going to be able to come back. Not against this team. That's just how I feel about that.
Yeah.
They have to start off fast.
We'll go into that
Yeah.
on our episode more. But
Yeah.
stay tuned for that, because that's going to be fun.
Do you have
So we got two Chiefs, and we got a 49. What do you pick though, Mel? I know you don't
No,
follow
again,
it.
well, I've seen a little bit, but just off of what I've been seeing, the Chiefs' offense looks ridiculous.
It
I mean,
is.
like when they came back, and didn't they put up like 51 points in one game?
Yeah.
50-some points?
Yeah, but they came back, but they started off sluggish.
Yeah, they did.
They can't. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying
Yeah.
earlier. That's my argument. If they start off sluggish, then the 49ers can just pin the Eels
They're
back
kinda
and just
like
come
smother
get you.
them. Yeah.
Come get you. No matter what Patty. You gotta realize something. This is a big game for Patty. He never been in this position.
Mm-hmm.
But you got Jimmy G that's been in this position behind Tom Brady,
Your favorite player of all time.
my favorite player, and he got a ring for it.
okay.
But he knows the game.
Yeah.
He's been in that situation. Well, Patty has not. This is his first time going into a big Super Bowl game in his young career. This is what, his fourth year almost? Yeah. So it's like he's going to get paid major, but it doesn't matter. Can he win this game? That's what I'm happy to see. So
Okay.
we'll definitely see from there.
Okay. I saw something on Twitter, and I'm going to ask everybody their opinions. They had put this poll up. If you could choose between Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, or Giannis, who would you select? Like, you had your pick between those three players to come to your team. Aaron?
I'll let Aaron start.
I would say Giannis because
Giannis, okay.
yes, he's young. I like him because you don't hear, you do hear a lot about him, but you hear like it was back in 3 years ago was the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
The team to be.
Yes.
And it's like now you got that starting to dismantle.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Giannis going somewhere else.
Well, they're trying to get him. Steph Curry was whispering sweet nothings in his ear. Who knows what he was saying, but trying to lure him to Golden State. Yeah.
I wouldn't go there. That team's in rebuilding stage. I wouldn't
Yeah.
go there. If I'm Giannis, I would either go to.
Why not stay in Milwaukee?
Because
Yeah,
he doesn't
Yeah.
have. He doesn't have the pieces, in my opinion. He's not winning the championship in Milwaukee, not with the pieces that he
Really?
has. Because they're a small market team. They're paying him this X amount of bucks. They have these shooters around him, but it's still not enough. He's only one superstar. There's in NFL. Damn.
Yeah.
And the NBA, there's two superstars that's on each team. Most of the big teams. I could see him going to either Toronto. Going up there because of look at Siakam, Siakam.
Yeah, Siakam.
Look at him.
good.
He's going to be good. There you got your pair there, or he can go ahead and head to. Oh my God, I can see him going to Phoenix because you got you stack there. They'll stack there. That's young and up and coming talent there. So I
Okay.
definitely say right there, or he could come even to the Pelicans. Because
Miami wouldn't be a bad team either.
I was about to say that. I was about to put that Miami
went
with
to
Jimmy
Miami,
Butler.
yeah.
With Jimmy Butler. You got
But-
a young talent with Tyler Hero. I love Tyler Hero.
Yeah. I would want to see him stay in Milwaukee though. They have the
he's not
best.
going to.
Well, they have the best record in the league right
But they're
now.
not going to go nowhere. That's what
Really?
I'm
Do
saying.
you think so?
I
They're coming
don't
out of
think
the
so.
East.
I know so.
Well, of course, because we're going to win this year. The Lakers are going to win this year.
I was going to say that.
I had to put that in there. But I do see them coming out of the East. I don't see anybody really being a threat to Milwaukee.
Yeah, but they're not getting to the NBA Finals, I can tell you that.
No, I see them going to the
You
finals.
see them going?
Absolutely.
If they make a trade, I think they have to make a trade because the bench is shit.
Well, they're trying to. They're I guess entertaining the idea of Eric Bledsoe going somewhere. But let's see.
Let's see. Look at these guys' takes. Let's see. Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Before I start, someone messaged me. He's watching the stream now. He wanted me to say meow, meow, meow to make sure it's really me. So I gotta get that.
Meow, meow.
Okay.
So there you go, Jared. You heard it. Out of those three, though, I'm taking Kevin Durant.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of all three of them, but to me, Durant's got the most complete offensive game. He can score anywhere on the court.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like Giannis. They're a similar build, but I just like Durant's experience and everything. Giannis is still really young. He hasn't really proven it to me yet. I know he's got the MVP last year, and he's putting up incredible stats, but the three-point shooting of Giannis scares me. So that's why I'm taking KD.
Okay.
I mean,
See, we're switching the camera around here now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if I had to pick, I'd take Aaron's round and pick Giannis, because my thing about Giannis is that, yes, the three-point shooting is a scare, and, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry are obviously better, but Giannis is getting better at that. I mean, I think right now in the season, he's at like 30%, which is really not that bad, considering where he was, a couple seasons ago, or even last season. So, and the fact that I think it's been a really long, maybe since LeBron, and like when he was young, we haven't seen a player that's been this dominant in so long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like he's putting up major stats and just carrying the Milwaukee Bucks. And I understand Aaron's point about that Milwaukee doesn't have two superstars, but I feel like he has three kind of like middle of the road players. If you're not going to have two superstars, you need to have more kind of like average players to combine. And I think having Eric Bledsoe and Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton around him, I think that's enough. Yes, they lost Malcolm Brogdon, and that was a hurt. But I think even without him, that's still enough for the Milwaukee Bucks, at least to make it through the East. I mean, I don't see anybody in the East right now. Like, I thought the 76ers were going to be better this year. They're kind of disappointed.
Absolutely.
So I don't see anybody in the East that can stand up to the Milwaukee Bucks. It will be interesting to see when we get down to the finals, if it's like between, the Lakers or the Clippers or somebody else in the West, how they do. But I disagree that Milwaukee has no shot to win the title. I think they have a really good chance to win the title.
I agree with that. But here's one more dynamic, though.
Mm-hmm.
Locker room.
Yeah.
Will Kevin Durant be a disruption in the locker room?
No. We all talked about how Kyrie Irving feels.
Yes, but I mean, you hear stuff coming out of Golden State now,
Yeah.
So that's one dynamic. I mean, it's one thing to bring your talents to a team, and it's another to bring a whole host of BS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
basically.
just problems. But with all that being said, I'm still picking Kevin Durant.
I know you're picking Kevin
I'm still
Durant.
picking Kevin Durant. I mean, but they made all my points. Kevin Durant can get his shot anytime he wants to. I mean, he's 7 foot. He can shoot out the gym. You can't block his shot. And he plays good defense. Maybe not as good as Giannis, but and he's a closer. He's a serial killer closer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. He is.
Yeah.
He is just really like with Giannis, like what we were just talking about. He is the it. He's it in Milwaukee. So he's always busting his tail, and he's scoring all these points. Again, he's gonna wear down because he's human. He's not a robot. And this ain't the Terminator. And he's gonna wear down, I think. And I feel in the playoffs he's gonna be done. He's gonna be burnt out. But I do get what Connell's point saying. He has a point there. Yeah, he does have mid people there. That's good.
Yeah.
But you don't have another superstar to rely on to take some of that
load
lift off of you. Because the thing is, he's gonna average all these points because he's the Bucks. He is the Bucks. He is the one. He's the one that's carrying this Bucks team on his shoulders. That's going to wear on him. He's not going to. I don't feel like they're going to. Even if they win in the first round, they're not going to get past. They're going to get either Miami's probably going to make it in, sneak it in, or somebody's going to get hot and is going to beat them out I'm not saying that they're not going to win the East. They're probably going to win the East because they have the best record. But I don't see them going win an NBA Finals until they get another piece with Giannis, but they can't afford it. And I don't think Giannis is going to sign back though. He's going to go somewhere else. But we don't know where. Atlanta is on the rise.
I love Trae Young.
I can see him pair with Trae Young right there.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. I don't know if Connor has anything. Not Connor. I mean Eric. You want to see if Eric has anything? Like anything
absolutely.
Put on that?
Yeah. So the only reason why I wouldn't pick Kevin Durant is just depending on like how he recovers from this injury that he has.
True.
But assuming he's going to be fine from the injury, Kevin Durant would be my choice because out of the three choices, in addition to like all the points that have been made about KD already, he is the one that has proven he can put his foot down and lead the team when needed the most to get the championship. Because even like with Steph Curry and the Warriors, when they won the championship before him, Steph Curry didn't even get Finals MVP in that series. And as much as I like Steph Curry, for whatever reason, it just seems like whenever the moment is starting to get to be big, he
chokes.
Doesn't seem to
He chokes.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the Warriors lost that series against the Cavs, where the Cavs came down 3-1, in comes KD, and then they roll in and win 2 championships. KD takes over the finals and dominates and gets them those 2 championships. And yes, they had a great supporting cast around him, but at the same time, I don't think the Warriors would win those 2 championships without Kevin Durant. And this is coming from somebody who hates Kevin Durant.
You're honest. You gotta love that.
Because I'm a Thunder fan, so
okay, I understand.
I wasn't very happy when he chose to leave, but at the same time, I respect his talent and I know how good he is. And to compare him against Giannis, I know Giannis is still really young, so he has a lot to prove still. And just, I felt like when it came down to the Bucks playoff series last year when they got eliminated, I just felt like he didn't have it in that moment. Now he's still really young, and maybe he could turn around and. He's obviously got time. I mean, obviously Michael Jordan, yes, while he went 6-0 in the finals, he lost a lot of playoff series.
Absolutely.
Before his first finals appearance. So I can't, I'm not going to say Giannis is bad or anything. Obviously he's really good. But if I had to have somebody right now, assuming he comes back from that injury healthy, I would pick Kevin Durant.
Absolutely.
So, Twitch, what do you guys think? You hear all this. Who do you think do you think the Bucks is going to win it this year? Or do you think that, that Giannis is going to choke in the big moment like he's been doing? Or you think that, because everybody's talking, the discussion here is, could he leave Milwaukee and go to Golden State? What do you guys think? If you guys think that can happen, just leave a, comment and we'll go ahead and answer on the thing.
I would hate for him to go to Golden State. I think I like the setup of the NBA now where most teams just have 2 stars. I don't like the stacking a whole bunch of players on one team. Even with them, but even with that doesn't guarantee you a win. And I think about the Lakers, yes, my Lakers. I forget what year it was where we had Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, and Shaq, and we lost to the Detroit Pistons. So it doesn't matter how many people you stack on a team. There has to have, that chemistry.
It has to have balance and chemistry on it.
Absolutely.
If you can always overload a team.
Yeah. It's one ball. You know what I'm
Basically.
saying? So, yeah, absolutely. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add to the show? Any topics, questions, anything?
I got something now, and this is going to put everybody on the spot, but it'll make everyone think, so I like it. So,
thinking, yay.
I have to think now?
I got to think now.
All right, so I'm going to pose, this is a huge hypothetical, obviously. This isn't realistic, but if you could take, let's say, a pill or something like that, and if you take the pill, you give yourself immortality, so you never die. But I will say the one qualifier for this is that you can stay at a certain age. So once you're you don't age as you're 900 years old or anything like that. You can stay in a good healthy age,
35.
Yeah, whatever you want really. But
yeah.
But anyways, you never die. Would you guys take the pill, or would you decide not to take the pill?
You want to answer first, RM?
Yeah, the question is, what type of world am I living in? What's my living conditions? Do I have access to wealth?
Like
right now. No.
Right now.
No.
Yeah, you're on the spot.
Absolutely not. I like the idea of growing old. I don't know. It's kind of weird, though. It's kind of a good question, because if you do have immortality, then you have so much time to acquire that wealth. Or if you F up, you can always, have a second chance. So, but I'm still going to say no.
Okay.
How
I would
about you?
say I would say no, and the simple reason why, because you got a lot of nuggets out there, like coming here. You can tell this guy was on the phone on in the lane that's supposed to be the fast lane, going slow as shit. And people, I can't reason with that. That's my biggest pet peeve. If you can't,
drivers, right?
Yeah,
exactly,
they suck.
If they suck. Like, if you can't drive, get off the road, dude, and put your cell phone down too while you're at it. But with immortality, I would not want it, just because of that simple reason is you got to deal with these idiots, and the way that the world that we're living in, it's not good. So I would not.
Here's another question to your question. Does that alleviate any chronic pains or sicknesses? Or, I mean, you could have a disease and just live through it.
You could.
Does
Everybody
that
has
alleviate all that stuff?
Yeah, no, I would say that you're susceptible to that stuff. Like, if look, I'll say this: like, if you fall in like a volcano and you get trapped inside of lava and it burns all, like, you're screwed. That's where you're gonna end up, like,
forever.
So yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say is, like, you stay at a certain age, because nobody can even imagine what a human would look like after 150 years. So
yeah,
that's why I'm going with that. But before Connor and Eric and myself make our answers to this, do you guys all know what you're gonna pick?
I do.
Okay, Eric, do you know what you're?
Well, I'm kind of changing it after the question.
I would too. Good answer.
I think I know what I want to pick. So
Okay, so I want to, since we're family and everything, let's try and guess each other, see if we guess each other right. So I'm gonna guess that, Eric, based off what you just last said, that you're not going to take immortality. And Connor, I'm going to guess that you're not going to take immortality. And then you guys can guess for me, and then at the end we'll see if we're right.
Okay, well, I would guess that Eric would say no and Zach would say yes.
Wow.
yeah,
Eric, what are you guessing?
I'm gonna go with Connor no and Zach yes, just because I'm thinking, since Zach came up with this question and maybe he's thought about it a lot, that maybe Zach would take the pill because of that. That's why I say Zach yes. And I guess since everybody has guessed now, I would have said yes until if I were to get some sort of cancer and then just have to live with that and never die, that would really suck. So otherwise I would have said yes.
Let's ask Twitch, see what they think.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? There's this one pill, and you go ahead and you take it, but you don't die ever. But you still can get cancer, you still can get sick, you
still fall in a volcano.
You can still fall in the volcano and burn up to hell. But it's the same world it's the same world that we live in now. Would you guys take it? Would any of you guys take that? Let's see if we get an answer on that. But let's say, would anybody take that pill off of that's watching live stream right now on Twitch? Would you guys take it? Go ahead and drop your answer into the thing, and we can have a discussion about it.
Okay.
So let's go back to Connor and myself.
Yep.
So Connor, by the way, you guys were correct. I am going to say yes to this answer. But
I kind of figured that.
Are you going to be yes or no?
Okay, well, that's interesting, because that means we're all going to be 100% on our guesses, because I would say no.
Wow.
Because, I mean, my thing is more so, I'm not as worried about, the getting sick and all that stuff. I'm worried about just after a certain amount of time, you've seen this in movies and stuff before, and it sounds kind of cliche, but, watching all your friends and all of your relationships and everything, watching all those people die over and over and over again would just be so depressing. I just can't handle that. I just live my one life and be happy, and that'd be it.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna pick yes to this, and I did really go back and forth because this has the potential to be disastrous, but I still feel like if you're gonna if you get an infinite time on this earth, then assuming now if the government finds out and those experiments on you, like that's really bad. But if you can
just
stay
have to wait
hidden
until
from
the
the
world leaders die out, and
Yeah.
like, the next crop can be like, whoa.
if you stay like hidden from the government, they don't find out about this. I feel like all this, you have an infinite amount of time, you can achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. And if you do end up getting sick or something, you literally can experiment on yourself until you get it right. You know what I mean? Like you have to
go through like a,
also
like 100 bad results.
Yeah, and because like this, if you're gonna be immortal, like you're gonna live past like the Earth, because you know the Earth eventually will get engulfed by the sun and all that stuff. So you can literally have all this time to
Yeah, that sucks. That would
Is that what
suck.
you're talking about? You're
You
done
scorched the
billion
earth
years
and you're
from
still
now.
living.
And
You're the
you'd
only
definitely be
person.
scorched.
You're
I am
after that.
legend.
I know, it's just funny.
Dude, that's
Like,
something you
that's
gotta think
a long
about.
time.
Nobody thinks about the 4 billionth year, but like you can, I have faith in myself that I can have all this time to learn all this stuff and make the world better, and then find a place off of Earth and keep the human species alive. Like, I don't know, that's the kind of person I am, but this could end up being really bad, but I think I'd have so much cool opportunities to do stuff. So it tells you about yourself though, what kind of person you are. I think if you risk taking and stuff like that, because I usually am like the more of a risk taker when it comes to like sports and stuff. I'm always saying like go for it on 4th down and everything like that. But
Eric and I are like, no,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
go for 2-point conversions and stuff. So it does kind of match. I'm assuming that's why you guys both thought I would say yes, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, to kind of dovetail off of what you guys were saying, I did have a topic I wanted to bring to the show.
Okay.
And it has to do with freedom of choice. Do you believe that your life is made up by your decisions, or do you think that your life is already written out?
So like
that's
fate
a good
versus
question.
choice, basically.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, the reason I ask that is because I've been in a few situations where I should have died, car accidents, and for some reason it just seemed like there was some divine intervention, and it just pulled my car to the side of the road. And it happened more than once. So that leads me to believe that maybe it is written out. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I sure hope it's not, but I don't think so, just because I'm a very scientific, type of thinking person, and just the fact that we can choose to drink water or not, or we can choose to be on this podcast or not. I think the fact that we don't know that someone else or something else is making these decisions for us, like either like a god or like a computer script by some alien or something like that. The fact that we don't know that exists, I just think that we do have the free choice to do what we want. But I'll see what you guys think.
What do you think, Aaron?
I like it. Aaron, what do you think?
Absolutely.
I would say this is how I feel about it, because like I said, I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. So I think there's a reason why, you didn't die in those situations, because obviously he didn't want you dead.
Yeah.
He has a life, he has something that he wants for you to get done before you go. So and what I have read, and when I have, since I have faith and stuff, like I try to, listen and watch, I would say it's you already got it planned out. Like God already got it planned out for you. He knows when you're gonna die. You don't know. So, but I think in the split second, with that is it, like you said some pulled your car off the side of the road. So with that being said, is you had no control, correct? Is that it?
Yeah, but it was something else too. It was like something. The first situation, I was driving up the highway and my tire came off my car, and I'm on the freeway.
Wow.
And my car, I have a Jeep.
That's not
Yeah,
good.
I have a Jeep, and the Jeep should have flipped, and it didn't flip. Something pulled it to the side. And there was another situation where it was raining. It was almost like Moses, or it was just a downpour.
Yep.
And I can't see in front of me, and something told me, put your foot on the brake. And I put my foot on the brake, and I come up to this ditch and there's a house behind the ditch, and if I didn't put my foot on the brake, I would have jumped the ditch and went right into the house.
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying. That's
So-
just tell you something right there. That
But I'm gonna give you a twist to this, and then I'm
Go ahead.
gonna let you guys chime in. I do believe that life is written out, but then I don't, because
you can make
why
your own
would
choices.
yes, but why would God put children in positions to get molested?
That's a good.
You know what I'm
question.
saying? Or why are people born paraplegic? Or
Why is people killing people?
yeah, that's the
Because
question.
but the thing is, you got evil too. You got good and you got evil. That's on this earth too.
But a child is innocent.
I
So I
agree.
can understand if
I
a
agree.
person is evil, then it's almost like, okay, you're going to reap these benefits because you did something bad. But if you're born into innocence and something happens,
yeah,
then how do you explain that?
that's something I can't explain. Like
Right.
I said, I'm not God. I can't explain that. But all I know is that again, it's good versus evil. That's how this earth is. It's good versus evil.
Mm-hmm.
Evil is going to try to win, but evil is not going to ever win because good always prevails.
Okay.
And like you said, when you was almost going to that house, how else do you think that was going to,
But that,
who else could have stopped you? Though?
I understand that. Yeah, I know. I
Hercules?
understand that. That's why I'm kind of
Yeah.
torn, because then there's the opposite where it's like, okay, well, why is this happening to other people that are good people? What do you guys
I
think?
just can't answer that. I'm not. I can't answer that.
Obviously, this is obviously a very
It's touchy.
complicated
Yeah.
matter, but for me, I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a combination of both. I mean, obviously our lives are not, completely written out, because I mean, like Zach said, I could choose to walk over to the refrigerator right now and grab some water out of it and drink it, or I could go find a gun somewhere and blow my brains out if I wanted to. I mean, I have free choice.
But not to
that
cut you
regards
off,
to
but
it.
who's to say that wasn't already written out? And you're just living it.
I don't know that.
Free will. That's
I
what I'm
don't
thinking.
know, but
I'm
see,
thinking
I
free will.
I'm just
also think
asking
a
a question.
similar
Yeah.
point is because this is why I feel like it's a combination of both, because I've been in a similar situation as RM where, like, I was taking my friend Alan home from a church event one night, and literally I took him home, and then like 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes after I get back on the road, a car runs a stop sign going the other way and T-bones me, hits my left passenger door. I don't know how fast they were going, but it was pretty fast, because I literally couldn't see them until like right as they were about to hit me, like came out of nowhere. But anyway, if the car had literally hit me like a millisecond sooner, like I could have been dead, because they hit my left passenger door and not my left driver door. So I mean, it literally would have been not even like a thousandth of a second difference, so it could have killed me. And also, if I had left the church party like 2 minutes later than I did, I could have been going the other way, and then that driver could have come and hit, and they would have hit my friend it would have been on Alan's side of the car, or from the passenger side if I was going the opposite direction. And who knows what could have happened to him.
Right.
So, like, for me, like, I feel like if it was like all completely like written out, like, I should be dead probably, or at least like have had like serious injuries to where like I couldn't function like I do now, because like I function now like as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like while I believe in God, I'm a Christian, I believe that God gives us free will. So since we have free will to make our own choices, it can't be completely written out. But at the same time, going back to the the whole car accident thing, seeing as how like I could have died or RM could have died, obviously there's something that we haven't, that like RM and I haven't accomplished
Absolutely.
yet, that we are supposed to do before it's like our time to die or whatever. So this is really an intense subject. It's hard to, it really is. This is something that could be talked about for hours. People debated this for like centuries.
Yeah.
So like it's hard to fully figure out. But I mean, that's just my take on it. I don't think it's completely scripted out, but I also but like I said, we also have free will, and like Aaron said, unfortunately that's why there's evil in the world, because if if God wanted everything to be
perfect,
happy and roses, then we wouldn't have free will because of the free will and the people being tempted and they do things. That's why people kill people, and unfortunately, or why people choose to drink alcohol and get a car, like in Delaware, like with the bad drivers Aaron deals with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like all different kinds of things. It's complex, but I guess that's my thoughts on it.
I mean, if I had to offer my take on it, I'm probably going to go more of the route with Zach, that I do think everything is a choice. I think I used to be more on the side of Eric, like where I thought it was kind of like a mix, but I also believe in, like, you say how RM, you were saying how, like, something told you to hit the brakes. I feel like people just kind of naturally have those instincts, though. Like when you're in a situation like that and you just like can't see, something's telling you, like something in your brain just clicks, like, and it goes like, hey, maybe I should like do something else. Maybe I should hit the brakes because I don't know where I'm going. Or maybe I should, pull off to the side of the road because I don't know what's going on. And like, obviously, and I do think that, there's a lot of probabilities involved when it comes to, like, when you said the tire came off of your car, while yes, there was a high probability that the car should have flipped, there's also a very low probability, but it's still a possibility that the car didn't. And I think for me, that's what I think about. And the same thing with Eric, with, like, him driving, because honestly, like, in the grand scheme of things, when I look at that, there was honestly a very low probability of Eric getting hit in the driver's side door, because there was a very high probability of other stuff happening, like you get hit in the passenger door, or maybe you're delayed by like 30 seconds and you completely miss that person going through the stop sign or something like that. So that's more the way I look at it, where like I look at it through the realm of probabilities, and that's why I take, and also like I believe, what Zach and Eric were saying about how I can choose to get up and go get a drink of water from the fridge, or I can choose to, when I drive to class in the morning, I can choose to take one way, or I can choose to drive this way.
Yeah.
So that's I thought. I'm on, like, I think it's all choice.
All right, so chat, what do you think? Do you think it's all choice to how you choose your life, or you think it's free will that, no matter what, it is what it is? Like, for example, this is my free will. Nobody told me that I had to do a show. Nobody told me that I had to stream. Nobody told me that I had to act in my movie that I did last November. It's all, about what you want to do and how you want to live your life. So chat, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's, like I said, it's all choice, or do you think that it's free will that you get to choose whatever you want to do? You guys want to, leave something?
I'm glad you resurfaced the question, because my friend Maggie, she's watching the stream, but she's not in the chat. She was just wondering what we were talking about since she just got in. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. Free will, or do you have a choice?
Do you have a choice?
So you can message me if you have an answer to that as well. Jared as well too. I know you're watching also. All
right, so Jeff, Mag, if you guys want to answer that question and you feel comfortable, go ahead, text Zach, him, and we'll discuss it.
Yeah. Answers if they tell me. Actually, Jared, he did say something already to me. I'll read it to you guys. He wanted it to be read. He said, tell him if it was pre-written, then there would have been no reason for any of that to happen to the car in the first place if he didn't get hurt anyways.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's
but
good.
Okay, that is a good observation of it. But there's been other situations where I could have lost a hand and it didn't happen. So I was changing a car tire, and for some reason the gravel gave way. Now I was using one of these old hand cranks, and the crank, when I was putting the pressure from the car, I guess they just did the blacktop. It gave way, and for some reason my hand we talked about that. So you see that?
I can see the scar on your hand. I noticed that when we started doing the show.
So my hand got caught in between the car and the jack. And I had to uncrank the jack with my thumb in the gears. So when I went to the doctor, they said, it's amazing you didn't lose your hand.
It is amazing that you didn't lose your hand.
Yeah.
So, but to his point, it shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't have happened.
So what was the reason for that happening?
Oh my God.
So
we got more questions than answers.
It's mind-boggling.
It's just mind-boggling.
It is
Go down a
mind-boggling.
new rabbit hole.
Yeah.
something that'll be debated till the end of time.
Yeah,
Basically.
Absolutely.
So
just to me though, I just feel like we don't know. Like if we don't know something, we have to go by what we do know, and we do know that we have the choice to pick something up or put something down or get in a car or get out of a car. We know we have the capabilities to do that. So I don't know if an exterior force is pre-written us to do that. Maggie's messaging me right now. I'll see what she says, but I just don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about, but also I would want us to have free will. Like if we don't,
definitely.
If we find that out, it would really bum me that like everything I'm doing has just been pre-decided. But
absolutely.
I do got some questions for him. Though.
Okay.
Let's try the Q&A. So I got one question for you guys. What made you guys start this, and why do you guys love it so much?
Do you guys want to chime in first?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, Zach, you're the lead host.
I'll take this one. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I've always enjoyed doing sports and everything. I've followed it all my life and all that stuff, and I always have my own opinions, and I always have the things that I prefer to talk about and I prefer to hear talked about. And I just was really watching a lot of those sports debate shows like the Undisputed and First Take, that sort of stuff. So I also found flaws with their system of doing those type of shows, and also the repetitiveness of the topics that they choose to talk about each day.
Every day.
So it seems like it's the same stuff
thing.
every day. So I wanted to make my own like sports podcast thing where I can control what I want to talk about, and that was really the motivation. And then as far as finding out who to do it, because undergoing something like this is a lot to do by yourself. So Eric and Connor are my two cousins, obviously. I'm very close with them, so I just asked them if they wanted to be a part of it, because obviously I already know them and I know that they know their stuff about sports. So they were happy to come on, and I guess they can elaborate more as to why they wanted to come on and join for sports.
Yeah, I mean, when Zach had told me that he wanted to do this, like with everything he just said, I mean, I feel exactly the same way. And like, the reason why I like shows like our show and then like being on shows like this, like even though like we disagreed, like we had a pretty much 50-50 split between like the Chiefs and 49ers, and we had a like 50-50 split between the like free will, or is it all written out? Like at not like one point during any of those topics did like one of us butt in like they do on those like national TV shows and be like, no, it's my turn.
Right. Yeah.
Stephen
A.
Yes, Stephen A.
My turn. Like when you watch those shows, like for the most part, like when it's basketball season, all they talk about is LeBron. When it's
every day
football season, all they talk about is like maybe like Brady,
Cowboys,
and like Mahomes and Cowboys, and and not that I don't mind talking about that stuff, but like when you turn on those shows and it's like that's all they talk about every single time,
it gets dry.
Like,
yeah,
it's nice
same
to have
stuff all over.
breath of fresh air and listen to something else, and so that's why like I've been enjoying not only doing this podcast and being able to talk about whatever we want to talk about, like like finding other shows like you guys shows and like the CC Sports show that we've been on, and just finding other podcasts that talk about things that I like to listen to, and they do it in a professional back and forth conversational manner. It's not a bunch of like yelling for ratings and stuff. Like I just don't like that, and that's why I like stopped watching those shows completely and listen to other sports podcasts instead. So that's why I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm mostly for all the same reasons that Eric has, but also I wanted to join because I know I don't really have any friends that are really in, like, most of my friends don't, like, they think sports is like a disgusting topic. They're like, ugh, sports, like, why do you watch sports? Because they're like, they're these people that like, they like to play video games all the time, and some of them like to watch anime and all this other stuff, so they're that typical group demographic that's like, ugh, sports, gross.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like an oddity when it comes to that. Like, I know I was talking with my girlfriend and she was saying how, like, because she's really into a lot of that stuff, and how she's been in like quite a few relationships before me, but like I'm the first guy that she's dated that's been into sports. Like everybody else is like, that she's dated doesn't even care about it. So, and I know, but even though I had no friends or anything that was into it, I always had Zach and Eric that were always into sports. Like whenever we'd have our family get-togethers or whatever, us and like sometimes like our uncles and whatnot, we'd talk about sports all the time. And then, what was it now? I think we're on season. How many seasons have we been doing the Fantasy Football League now? Like 8 or 9?
No, not that many. Like probably 6.
Well, like 6 or 7. Yeah. So yeah, we've started this Fantasy Football League in our family for like 6 or 7 seasons ago. So when Zach pitched to me the idea of like doing a sports podcast, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like I don't have an opportunity to ever talk to sports with anybody outside of these guys, and who better to do it with than the guys that I'm always talking with it about. So. That's why I like it, and also for a lot of the same reasons that Eric said. Like, we can talk about not just LeBron James and not just the Dallas Cowboys. Like, we can talk about other stuff besides that.
Before you guys ask your next question, though, Jared messaged me back, and this is funny, Eric. This will be with you and me, but he asked, is this the cousin from Get Off the Couch? Tell him the story if it is. I'm a huge fan of his early work. So, Eric, you know the story, I think, already, but for RM and Aaron, you guys are about to get a good laugh out of this.
Right.
So basically,
I'm going to love this, guys. I'm really going to love it.
Keep it together, Eric. Got a timeline here.
Sorry, that came out of left field. I wasn't expecting
it.
It
That came out of left field.
Basically, in 7th grade drama class, me and my friend Jared were paired up together we had to come up with our own dance moves to a song. So most groups did like a popular song from back when it was 7th grade for me, and we just couldn't figure something out. We weren't agreeing on stuff. I was like, I got this CD that Eric gave me of his band Operatio, and so we listened to the CD and we picked the Get Off Your Couch song, and it was a good song to make a dance to because there was like get up off your couch, and then like we would get up off the chairs in the classroom and stuff.
Oh,
It was
God.
hilarious, and nobody knew the song in the class when we presented it to the class. Nobody had ever heard it before. They were like, probably, what the hell is this? Jared, he was messaging me. He wanted me to tell you that story again. So,
And did Maggie message you, Zach? Did she have a question?
no, she didn't. She
Okay.
didn't message me. I asked her if she heard like the quote unquote shout out, and she said yes. But if she has anything, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what she says as well. I just had to say that story.
That's a funny story right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm honored that he still remembers that. I used to be a bass player in a band a long time ago, and I only have like one copy of that CD left. Like it's crazy.
I still got it, actually. So.
Yeah. So knowing that, like, thanks to you, Zach, like I still have a fan from the days of my band. That's pretty awesome. So wow, I did not expect that. Like I said, that came out of left field.
It's the power of the chat, man. It's the power of the chat.
Yeah, man. So Aaron, thanks for doing a live stream here, because otherwise, that story would not have come out.
No, I'm gonna start live streaming this a little bit more for
Right.
for the people in the swarm to take a look at this, and maybe new people that want to join the swarm to see what we do and
Right.
what we love to do. Like I said, we love doing the show. And I'm like, I love doing this, I love that
this
we
is
could
new, and
interact with them.
I
I
like
do got another
this.
question for him now.
Okay.
So I know you guys got future episodes coming out. So if you guys could like one day, if you guys could go with like somebody like a little bit big, like Joe Rogan, for example, someone, who would it be? If you could star on somebody's show, who would it be? There, Clutch Crew.
Oh boy.
Man, I'd have to think.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher.
we
It's a good
don't
question.
see-
Yeah.
This is a good difference between our show and your guys' show, because you guys have this such great dynamic where you can just say something out of left field and just have an answer prepared in 2 seconds. But like with us, we plan our episodes. We usually know everything we're saying. But so let me try and think of someone, and I'm sure these guys are hopefully already thinking. I'm just
I guess
killing the airtime.
my problem is, like I had mentioned in my comment about why I joined Clutch Crew Sports, like these people like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp and Colin Coward and like a lot of these like big national names, like I'm not really a fan
Right,
of a lot
right.
of them. So I guess for me it would be, if there were ever to be like either a like current or former like Jaguars legend or something, if they were to start up their own podcast, then I would want to guest star like on a show with them, like, or something like that. But actually, I guess one other one I'll share is Connor and Zach. I've shared with him before. This one guy that I subscribe to his website, Bruce Blitz. Like, he's pretty cool. He's definitely like the opposite of style for me. Like, I don't think I'd be able to like co-host or, you know what I mean, with him. But like, I'd go on an episode with him. Like, he's definitely not like PC, you know, like, so, you know, for people that are like that, you know, like that's their MO, then you're definitely not gonna want to listen to him. But I don't, even though I'm more of a PC person, like I don't mind it from time to time, because he speaks his mind, he says whatever he wants, and he doesn't care. So
Do you mean PG?
No, like PC, like political correctness, like
yeah, I got you. Okay. I was like, what are you talking about?
It's definitely not PG either. But,
well, yeah, no, I knew that. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, but like I said, he speaks his mind and like doesn't care, and so like I do respect his ability to just say what's on his mind. Whereas like sometimes I'm more like reserved, but if he ever like wanted me to guest on his show, like I would totally do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So
I would say.
Go ahead, RM.
Oh, not to cut you guys off, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you guys. Like, what I watched with the ESPN, it's the same thing every single day. It's LeBron. LeBron's been, you know, missed free throws. He won the game. It's always that. I would probably go on Snoop Dogg's podcast. Have you seen Snoop Dogg's podcast?
I have not. I heard that they get stoned out of their
not all. Snoop does.
head. Yeah, I know Snoop does. It's Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Yeah, he's high before the cameras come on. But I would say, because it's fun, it's lighthearted, and you know, the topics.
Relax.
Yeah, and the topics, because I've seen Stephen A. on there, and there's people on there who don't.
He needs
do
some.
drugs.
Stephen A. needs to calm the hell down. He needs to smoke a joint. He feels good. That's another topic right there.
Yeah, Stephen A. is wound up, but I just like Snoop's energy. He's real cool, and then the things he talks about on his podcast are just chill. So it would probably be something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. What about you, though, Zach and Connell?
Well, real quick before Zach and Connor answer, I would also like to go on Snoop Dogg's show and ask him what he did to have Madden give him like a 99 overall speed rating.
I like it.
What did you do, Snoop?
Because that's the last thing
he was giving somebody some weed in the Madden or something. Somebody, the Mad developer or something.
99 over speed. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's good.
I really don't know, because I don't listen to a whole lot of podcasts or anything. Probably the only podcast I frequently listen to is called VRW. I don't know if anybody here has heard that before.
I have not.
Probably not. It's a like small thing, but I like him because he literally talks about random stuff. Like his listeners will email him, and he'll read the email and like answer his question to that and stuff. So it's just like something soothing to listen to. He's never had a guest on his show or anything, but that's the one I listen to a lot, and I truly do like talking about anything. I don't like just being defined as sports, so that would be something cool to be on. But
yeah.
I mean, if I had to pick a choice, because I haven't listened to too many podcasts either, but I think I would be really interested in going on Pat McAfee's podcast.
Oh, Pat McAfee
I've heard,
of the
a
Colts.
lot of interesting stuff coming from his podcast. So
he's good.
And I mean, he tells some pretty funny stories too. Because like, there was one that I love about him where he talked about, since I'm a Steelers fan, he talked about the day that Troy Polamalu ruined his life, and so basically, like, he was telling the story when, you know, the Colts had a game plan for when they went up against the Steelers. Like, if they were, I think the official thing was like, if they were on the 7-yard line on the left hash or something, they had this like fake field goal play that was like supposedly supposed to work every time against the Steelers. Just the way they lined up in that situation, this play would work every time. And it was like involved McAfee like faking it and like running through the C gap or something. And so they get into a game against the Steelers, and like they're actually in this position, and McAfee's like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm gonna get my first touchdown, like this is gonna be amazing. And so he lines up and like gets down, and he sees he has his eye on Troy Polamalu. And Polamalu, like, in the past, he's one of those players, he'd done the thing where he'd, like, jump over the line and try and block it, or, like, just basically stand in the middle, in the back. So McAfee, like, makes the play call, and he, like, gets down and starts his cadence. And, like, right before he's about to snap the ball, Polamalu basically, like, drifts over to where the C gap is and just kind of just stands there. And McAfee describes, he just, like, eyed him down, like, what are you doing? Why are you standing right there? Like, you're in the way of where I'm supposed to go. And so McAfee said he got up and he, like, yelled at his team, like, we're kicking this. Like, we're not doing the fake. We're kicking it. And he said he, like, went back to the sideline, and this is when Chuck Pagano was still coaching the Colts, and Chuck was like, oh, what'd you see? And he's like, what did I see? I saw Polamalu standing over in the C gap.
I was going to get trucked if I do this.
Yeah, right. He's like, he'd probably, like, pick me up and carry me over to the other end zone or something. And so, but just, like, I heard that story, and I think it'd be interesting to go on his podcast sometime.
So, Aaron, how about you?
What, for, like, who would I start on?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's tough. That's tough because like them, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. The only podcast I listen to is them, and I already guest starred on those. I would say I like to, even though that Stephen A gets on my nerves sometimes, I would say maybe First Take, just because I get a chance to team up and
Max and go against Steve.
And go against Stephen A. Just to see that vein pop out his neck, and he's like, "No, you are wrong. You are definitely wrong." They're going. Yeah, so I would like to hear him just pointing that finger at you and just making you just like you're like, come on, dude, and just have a straight face with Max like. That doesn't faze me. That I would definitely get. I would love to get still on that. I'd be honored. What about you? Oh, you already said you're on.
Oh, Snoop Dogg all the way.
Snoop Dogg.
But we're at an hour. We usually keep our podcast under an hour, but this is a special occasion. It's our 20th episode,
Yes,
and it was a great conversation. I had so much fun.
So I did too.
Yeah, we definitely have to do this again. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know that I know that in the future we're supposed to come back on again.
Absolutely.
We're supposed to come back on again.
We'll work it out so that we're regular guests on each other's show.
Absolutely.
I love this.
This is great. This is great.
And we got a chance. We have Twitch people tune in, so we got a chance. They get a chance to see the ride. And like I said, I want to continue doing this with you guys from the Swarm, and then with Clutch Crew and the 1RM right here. I really appreciate everybody that came out. Everybody came out tonight and got a chance to listen to our show with Clutch Crew right here. And you can check them out on YouTube as well as you can check us out at something like a podcast.
Absolutely.
And I know I had fun, and I know they had fun.
Oh hell yeah, I had so much fun.
So fun.
This was great.
Yeah,
but
I always love these.
This is awesome. Collaborations is always the best.
Yeah.
Okay, so this has been episode 20 for Something Like a Podcast.
And this is Alan Swarm,
the 1RM and Clutch Crew. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
Hey.